Angel Cop is a six-part anime series that is created in 1989 by Ichiro Itano. The story initially starts by dealing with terrorism at the end of the 20th century, where Japan is the largest economy in the world. The communist radical group, the Red May, are trying to bring down Japan's economy and take over the government. In response, a government agency, the Special Security Force, is formed with the ability to act outside the law. However, when the Red May suddenly find themselves being wiped out, the force discovers something else is hunting the terrorists. I didn't know nothing about this anime existing. Now, there's a store that I used to go to that sells like oldies, varieties of animes. It does good collections of figures and stuff. It's one of those stores, like convenience stores, that sells things that people trade back for money. And I seen Angel Cop there. And when I seen this movie, this series, it was very expensive. It was like around $130. But when I was gonna buy it anyway, because I realized that it's one of those rare adaptation animes, so I knew it was going to be good. And not only that, but it was made by manga. Now, for people that is my age and loves anime with a passion, manga can never go wrong. I've seen a lot of animes, well, majority of animes that was made by manga, and I was never let down. As soon as you watch an anime and they have that manga firing symbol, you know you about to watch something very good. And by me buying Angel Cop, well, first of all, it wasn't that much, but it wasn't that much when I bought it, because it was getting rid of it. That price tag was still there, so that's when I thought it was that expensive. But I ended up spending $50 on it, and that was even cheaper because I guess scalpers thought that this anime was so rare that they wanted to boost the price up on this anime. But thank God, producers and retailers end up making a HD version of this being Blu-ray. So I guess the scalpers felt stupid, so they ended up making this anime DVD end up being 20 to 25 bucks, which it should be in the fucking first place. This anime is great. It's pretty good. It has some light problems, but not to the point where you want to miss this anime. This anime is fucking fantastic. I love the story to it. It's very straightforward. It doesn't pussyfoot around. It makes a lot of sense. So it doesn't really confuse you. I'm sorry. It doesn't confuse you to the brink of understanding the premise of the anime, the story, the chemistry, and the character development, which the character development kind of, not confused me, but it kind of like driven me to the point where I didn't really care that much of what the motives of the main characters is, which is Angel, because she is one of the cops in the anime that supposedly is crooked. She doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't care about the values of life. There was even a time with her and her deputy, which his name is Raiden. And Raiden, he's one of my favorite characters in the anime because they develop his character up to the point where when we see him, he's a badass. So every time they see him, they develop him up to be more than just a character that does unique stunts, but we begin to care about his motivation, his drive, and his drive is to not let people think that the cops are all crooked, that they're all bad, but he actually has a good cause to reasoning with the bad guys and the terrorists and let them know, hey, look, I don't want to kill you, put the weapon down. But with Angel's character, she's the opposite. Which brings me to the conversation that they both had that I mentioned earlier when Raiden was asking her what would happen if there was a terrorist and they ended up having a baby hostage. And she says that I don't care if I kill the baby because if I do, then it'll be the terrorist's fault for putting that baby in that situation. A part of me agrees with that, but at the same time, they showed that scene just so they can show you how cold-hearted she is. So it's bold writing, it's bold production, and I wanted to see how they was gonna make her be developed up for us to like her. And they have done this in a very it was terrible. Her character development is not that good. As the story progresses, we get attached to a lot of other characters that they show us later in the series. But with Angel's character, the main, there are scenes where we begin to feel sympathy for her as the story progresses. In fact, she ends up falling attachment to Raiden's character. but it didn't feel warranted. I feel like that was not deserved, and I feel like we needed more time for them two to be more intertwined with each other, because there are certain scenes where they're not around each other at all. In fact, the last time they see each other, Raiden is at the brink of like dying, and she leaves him behind, which is another bold move, because I was like, you know what, she's doing all this fucked up shit. So I want to see how things are gonna play out between them two. But after that, like, we don't see Raiden within a couple more episodes. So she begins to feel a certain way, I guess, because she feels a little sympathy of what she did, but she doesn't even explain it. So I feel like that should have been more polished. That should have been more well directed. And with her character, they should have did a better job with her casting. As I'm talking about the action and the fight scenes, there's a lot of them. So, like I said, the series doesn't drag at all. You will be entertained. In the very first episode, they show you how the terrorists operate, how they begin to do negotiations, and just how they begin to go into like territories and just fuck shit up. And like, it's, you have to strap yourself in, because when I seen the scene when Angel and Ryder begin to confront the terrorists, and when they have like a mini shootout, one girl gets shot in the head, and they show everything. And they show everything, like all the detail, all the gore elements, just like the brain gushing out, and just like the cord and the opposites of the eyeball hanging. When it comes to animes from back then, they don't pussyfoot around when it comes to their context, their sexuality, and their violence. And Angel Cop is known for all of those aspects. If you have already seen Angel Cop, you already know what I'm talking about. But that first episode is just to buckle you in, to let you know what's going to happen if you keep watching this. And every episode is filled with that. People get burned alive. People get decapitated. People get shot the hell up with bullets. It's so much, and I was entertained. I was entertained a lot. So if you love gore anime, if you love action, or if you just like the impact of just being on the edge of your seat when it comes to these brinks of these violence getting taken place, you should have this anime in your collection. I'm talking too much about the action. I'm talking too much about the gore. So I didn't even really tell you so much about the enemies. Now, we have one main enemy, and her name is Lucifer. She reminds me a lot of Wesker from the Resident Evil franchise, that, you know, she's more than just a villain, but she kind of wants to restore balance. She actually has the same motive as the cops, as she wants to destroy the terrorists, because she understands how vicious the terrorists can be in Japan. But her motive is way beyond that. She wants to destroy corrupt terrorism. She wants to destroy corrupt cops, and her motive is so spot on and so sharp, to the point where she is going beyond the Call of Duty. Now she's just killing innocents, and that's where her villainality begins to hatch from the egg. I love her character because her character is threatening. That's it. Her character is not imposing. And the reason I'm saying that is because I like her because of her power. She uses psychic abilities, which is, if you use psychic abilities, you're fucked. You know? So she's almost basically indestructible. But with a character like that, I wish they would be more imposing when it comes to how they speak, how they visualize other people. All she does is talk down on people. And after a while, it gets repetitive. After a while, you really don't take her seriously. All you just want to know is how they're going to defeat a strong villain. I feel like to make a strong villain, you don't need to, like, a villain does not need to just be, well, you have certain villains that relies on strength alone. But I feel like for a main enemy, for a main bad guy, I need them to be intelligent. I need them to be smart when it comes to knowing their enemy's weaknesses, knowing their strengths, and just using that against them. And with Lucifer's character, I like how they did with Angel being the main and Lucifer being the main boss. That's creative when it comes to the names. But I love this anime. I thought that this anime was not bad, but at the same time, when it comes to the pricing, and by people not knowing too much about it, it's not worth that much. So thank God it's affordable. And if you haven't seen Angel Cop, and if you're a big fan of the anime genre, and if you are a big fan of the old school anime, this should be in your collection. You won't be sorry. I'm gonna have to give Angel Cop a B minus. I'm sorry I took too long with the anime reviews. I've just been so busy, just gaming, watching movies, watching anime, streaming. I'm sorry if you're hearing noise in the background. I told them to keep it down. So if you can hear them in the background, if you heard them in the review, I apologize. Their voices is on here now. So I warned them about it. So they don't really watch my stuff anyway. So I guess I can get away with it. Before y'all go, let me just finish what I was trying to say. What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh yeah, about me like catching up. Yeah, it's just I've been too busy like streaming and stuff, so I'm just trying to put more content than reviews as much as possible on my free time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the review. That's all I have. That's all I have to say for today. You guys take it easy, and you guys have a good day.